respect. Clean on three. 1, 2, 3.
What makes Brady so intense is his drive to win.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna lay down.
He'll challenge you.
Gotta work harder. Gotta do more.
He'll tell you it's not good enough.
Right, Joe. Hey, take it to another level.
He's the ultimate competitor.
Let's go!
He's our leader, and we love playing for him.
He's kind of become legendary. No one's more competitive than Tom Brady. The only thing that can match his love for the game is how much he loves winning. And this evening here at NRG Stadium, Brady will attempt to win his 5th Super Bowl. He won his 2nd right here in Houston. Back in 2003, the Patriots beat the Panthers. What's so fascinating is the MVPs, the rings, the 17-year career, and he still has a chip on his shoulder of being a 6th-round pick. And then add this season, he's suspended for the first 4 games of the season because of the Deflategate. He comes back so ready to play, 28 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, which has never been done. I'm guessing you can relate to the chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, playing football, it's unnatural to go want to ram into other people. I mean, you need to find motivation more than any other sport, probably. What is my motivation? A lot of people, the slights, the doubts, the fears that drive you to excellence. It starts when you're a young kid and just kind of keeps going. And I certainly had that with, trying to replace Joe Montana and all the things that felt like they could have a monkey on your back and all this stuff. And I think Tom uses that. I mean, famously now, for years and years and years, he's been the guy that, you drafted me in the 6th round, I'll prove you wrong, and it's taken him to such great heights. But I want to caution people. A lot of times when you use doubts and people doubting you as your incentive, at some point you have to transition, and I did that, and it really changed my career to not worrying about the doubts and people kind of, it really becomes a personal quest for excellence. How good can I get? And when you change to that way, and I think Tom has done that, you saw that maturity he's come into. He's really focused on health and how he wants to live his life. He'll have a moment with Roger to get it all if they get the trophy tonight. There's no question. But I don't think it's the thing that's driving him. I think he's truly transitioned, and it really, again, made the difference for me to transition to see how good I can get and forget about all the other comparisons.
Steve, we all remember the thing with the monkey on the back, and you had nothing to prove to anybody but yourself.
That's usually the case, right?
But that's the thing. But the super player, the great player, what separates the great player from the good player is that competitiveness and that competitive drive. There's never been an unbelievable player, great player, that hasn't had that to him. And with Tom Brady, oh, you can forget about it. I'll never forget, we go to Buffalo, the whole time they're talking about how, well, Rex Ryan, we figured out how to play defense against, Tom Brady. 150 yards less against our defense than anybody else or whatever. So what's he do? Like, I knew it was trouble. He comes out and hangs 500 yards passing and 3 touchdowns against us, and I'm like, oh my goodness! But I knew it was trouble.
Right?
Don't do it. And this dude's a hired killer. Like, I'm just telling you, he's got that mentality. And I remember going, before games, I'd see him and I'd look and I think I had the same thing, but I wasn't packing the same weapon that he was. Like,
And is he jawing at you? Is he talking?
Oh, yeah. We'll go back. Like, he knows, and he just has that look. He mean mugs me, all that. And I was carrying a pistol. He had all kinds of, artillery. But this guy, that's what makes him special.
Odell, at one point during the season, you posted on Instagram, right, video of LT just to sort of express the great players. They show their emotion. What's your message in all of that?
I think Tom Brady as well. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He just knows how to control it. He's done it for a long time. But as far as that chip on his shoulder, it's just something that he's had for a long time. I've watched him in Super Bowl. He's beat the teams that I love. I told him when I met him, I love hate him. He's one of my least favorite quarterbacks of all time. And it's just the way that he carries himself. It's the way he brings it to the field with his intensity. And you could really see it as he brings it out in the rest of his teammates.
How do you find motivation? Is it a chip on your shoulder, something from your past that you kind of say, look, I'll prove you wrong, or
it's not so
different way?
Yeah, it's not so much, at one point in time, I feel like when I was younger, it used to be proving the people who doubted me wrong, and then I had to look at it in a different light. What about proving the people who already believe in you right, and seeing the look on, my mom, my dad's face, knowing that they knew I was capable of doing this, and I went out and did it. Because people are always going to doubt anyways, and that opinion really doesn't matter to me. It's more about the ones that you care for. So that's kind of where I stick.
Brady even uses the 199, even when he's talking about retirement. It's like, nobody thought I could do this. Nobody wanted to draft me, and you're asking me if I'm going to retire? No, I'm going to play longer than anybody in history just to prove everybody wrong.
Turns 40
and
this year.
And
40.
very likely he will. And you know what, too? It's not lost on Brady how lucky he is to be teamed with Bill Belichick. He said this week that what he likes best is that there's no BS with Coach Belichick. He said, quote, "It's not a bunch of rah-rah crap that has no bearing on preparing you for the game," adding that he loves that Coach Belichick is a disciplinarian and that he yells at him like he yells at all the other guys. And in his 17th season, it's so important to the team that he's treated like everybody else. Here's Patriots owner Robert Kraft to take us inside that relationship.
Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, where my Patriots do their job, where Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have become the winningest head coach quarterback combination in the history of the NFL. This room, FO1-18, deep within the stadium, far from public view, is where these two great minds come together, breaking down film and problem solving. The work that they do in this room helped the team deliver them to their 4 Super Bowl wins together.
You can't BS your way through a meeting with Tom Brady, I'll tell you that. He's seen all the tape, he's studied the film. It really forces you as a coach to be well prepared, to make sure that you can really give him information that is helpful, not things that he's already seen.
I was fortunate to be in a lot of those meetings, to be able to sit in the back and just listen. And there was just a lot of brain power in the room that saw the game the same way.
The first time I ran into my 6th-round draft choice, Tom Brady told me he was the best decision our franchise ever made. It wasn't long before Tom began to convince Bill, too.
I remember seeing Brady and Belichick talking a lot. It was probably more along the lines like, "Hey, Bill, give me a shot." Or, "Bill, what can I do? Bill, can I take extra reps?" And Bill likes that kind of stuff. Bill was probably just building this guy's character, his belief, and ultimately gave him a shot.
And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions! And have excellent quarterbacking by second-year man Tom Brady. Let's go! Let's go, Nate!
I really don't think dynasty is even mentioned if Brady and Belichick didn't meet. Their passion for winning is something that rarely comes along.
That was a tough one.
In business, dynamic tension can create something that can be far greater than the sum of its parts.
He has high expectations for us. He treats me like I'm a rookie. He says can't complete, a slip screen in 2 consecutive weeks. Like, what are we doing? And you don't want to hear that all the time when you're a veteran who's won a ton of games with him. You want to say, go screw yourself, but you can't because he's your coach.
I've never felt that Tom has stepped outside his boundary or ever felt that way as if he was higher than Coach Belichick. The respect factor is always there.
To be humble enough to take coaching at this point in his career, and that's what the kind of person that Tom is.
Just keep stepping up now. We can handle the inside guys now.
Their bond is, they might as well be married. They'll be married in the record books. It's that strong.
4 Super Bowl wins together. And to think, it all begins right here, in this room, quarterbacks, FO1-18.
We thank Robert Kraft for helping us out with that. And here's what he thinks.
Very cool.
So this is right now. If the longest gap between first and last Super Bowl win for quarterback and coach, Brady and Belichick, 13. If they were to win today, it would be 15 years between the first win and the latest one, and no one's saying the last one. That would be it's unbelievable.